Good morning, everybody. A warm welcome. Oh, we have got a show for you. So we're going to be featuring a whole hour of... All I did was clap my hands and everything fell. I've got my mind tricks. Look, we've got a whole hour featuring FMM, some beautiful, beautiful cutters. Antony is here as well. Antony, give everyone a wave.
Hello.
Antony, could you just hold up? Now, can I just say to everyone at home, if you're not already doing so, please follow Antony on social media because he posts some incredible stuff. He posted a picture yesterday. I swore it was a real flower. Can you just show everyone, Antony? Look at this.
This one here.
So
yeah.
What is that, Antony? This
is all made using the three cutters that are on the show today. It is just made out of air drying paper clay.
Look at that.
That's it. And what I've done there, I've just added a few little droplets just to add to the realism. I think that's what it is. It's just those little finishing touches that just add to it.
Oh, Antony, that is staggeringly good. It looks like the rose. There's a well-known, it was an animation that made into real film.
Yes,
you know the
indeed.
one of a very attractive girl and a beast? We know it. Okay, so I tell you what we'll do, Antony. I'm going to go down the counter, just show everyone what we've got, and then we'll get to demonstration. Is that all right?
Okay,
and
super.
I will pick your brains if that's okay.
Absolutely.
As we go down the counter. We're going to start here. We have got, now this is the smallest, easiest rose ever. We've got, and then we've got the easiest rose ever. So that's your easiest rose. That is your smallest, easiest rose. I understand looking at the cutters, especially if you are maybe new to FMM and you're thinking, okay, I'm seeing the cutter. I see the pictures of the roses. How easy is it? Trust me, it is incredibly simple. Antony actually said it is the, I know it's called the easiest rose ever, but it really is the easiest rose he's ever made. $15.99 your price, 009682 your item number. When you see it in demonstration, prepare to be wowed. Okay, now, we've got more for you. This is your easiest peony. So the whole point, says it on the labelling, it's making it easy for everybody, that accessibility to create the most beautiful flowers. So you're getting the leaf cutter in there as well, which you're seeing. So there is the leaf cutter in the mix too. What I would say to you is these can be used for your sugar craft. So if you wanted to create these roses to put on top of cakes, or of course with your clay, and we have got some really special clay on the show as well. There is one golden rule though, you never cross-contaminate. So if you're using this for craft, you keep that cutter for craft. If you're using it for sugar craft, then of course you keep that separate. So if you are going to be doing both disciplines, you need to really get two. $11.99 is your price, 561413 your item number. I'm going to be really quick going down the counter because you need to see these in action. I can't, well, I'm going to be a viewer as well. I'm going to sit and watch Antony demonstrating. Right, coming up next, we have got the rose leaf cutter. You're also getting the rose Calyx as well. So the Calyx obviously being, it's the little green bit that the rosebud sits on. And just showing you here, so there is the leaves that you're getting to make those beautiful leaves. So this is what brings to life to your flowers. And there's the Calyx. Now you've got different sizes coming through. I'm just showing the largest. You've got then a medium and a small one. Coming through. $9.99 your price. You're getting both when you do see them in action. Putting them together with the easiest rose, the peony in there as well. Special things happen. Please believe me on that. 580333 your item number. We've also got some tools, and tools just useful to have, especially if you're just starting out and you want to get your tools, or maybe you want to keep these for, say, sugar crafting. $17.99 your price. Of course, these can be used for just your polymer clay as well. I'm just thinking if you wanted to get a separate set so you don't cross-contaminate. So now you're getting your foam pad that you work off of. Now this is important. You'll use all aspects, even that little punch hole serves a purpose. And you've got tools. Now where these are special is, if I just show you. So you've got unique tools. It's not just your ball tools in here. You've got all these. You have got ball, you have got ball tools. Got little pointer, I'm sorry, I keep pointing it out. I don't know what's wrong with me. You've got the little knife. You've got your Dresden tool in there as well. It's your little Dresden tools, and then you've got your larger ball tools too. So you're getting all of those, but oh, you have got a big one as well. Look at this. Look at that. Brilliant. Okay, so all of those tools, $17.99 your price, and you're getting the foam pad as well. 246298 your item number. Now, we've got the lace impression mats. So working with impression mats is a really quick and easy way to get some beautiful textures with your work. Having a look here, you are getting both of these texture mats for $9.99. Are we getting both? Or are they separate? I think they might be separate. Okay, I apologise, they are together. So you've got bark and brick, which is here. You've also got cobble and stone. That is a separate option. We don't have them physically in the studio with us. But they're, oh, that bark, I can tell you what, the bark, can you imagine that with your clay, putting that barky texture on a make, wrapping it around something, or equally on your cakes too. $9.99 is your, I love the bark, and I love the brickwork. Actually, two of my favourites. I think as backgrounds go, bark and brickwork, you can never go wrong. But you have also got the cobble option as well, the cobble and stone. $9.99 your price, 087018 your item number. Now we have more. I really have to say that in the last about year or so, Hochanda taken a whole different direction when it comes to molds and really thriving. So we've brought you the Zuri molds. We've got Prima here as well. Prima are exceptionally good molds. Here now you are getting $15.99. Surely this is options. So you are here, it's $15.99. You just pick which, look at the depth of the molds there. That is exquisite. I was always, I mean, with the Prima molds, whenever I saw them, to just feel them, you can feel the quality. They are exceptionally good molds. They are a food grade mold as well. Let me just tilt that down and we can have a little. Oh. Look at that. Now you imagine using that. You've got so many elements that you're going to bring to life.
Two options.
Just showing you the thickness of the molds as well. Again, you need to see them.
Sorry.
You need to see them. Actually, can we just, I'm going to give the details here, $15.99, 570624 your item number. Can I just show you over here, because we said we didn't have that, we found the other texture mats. So just to give you a quick look at the two texture mats, here we go. This is the other two. So the stone,
No,
actually, no, it's not.
It's two in front of each other.
Here we go, this one. So this is your cobble and stone. So apologies for that. We do have them in the studio. And I will just for clarification, if I pop those down, we also have the bark and the brick. So I think I was showing you the cobble and saying it was brick. That's your brickwork. So the brickwork and bark, because we don't want you disappointed. Okay, there we go. Right, we will carry on down. So those are the molds. Remember, it's $15.99 each. They are options, but they are incredible. Speaking of incredible, you want the right clay with your molds. Now, this is your bright and your light. Antony's going to be using these. And I was chatting to Antony. He was saying, the thing with bright and light, two things to point out. It's got less water content in there, so you are getting more clay for your money. It is a very, very good clay. And as the name suggests, it is bright and it is light. $10.98 your price. You're getting 200 grams of the bright. 200 grams of the bright and light. Now that's good value for money. 602254 your item number there. $10.98 your price. Okay, and we also have Soft and Strong. Now this is the first time I've done a show with Soft and Strong, but I was chatting to. Sounds what to say. I made myself laugh, I shouldn't. I was chatting to Antony and he was saying the thing with the Soft and Strong, now this is why it's special. So this is, it's an air dry clay, but it's actually a polymer clay. But more importantly, the way it works, once you've actually shaped it and it's dried, you can still mold it around stuff. It's still got that pliability. You need to see it in action. I know I've said that for pretty much everything on the show, but I think it is one of those shows where when you see Antony demonstrating, I think you're going to fall in love with a lot of the items. So with that in mind, I think we are going to go to Antony for our first demonstration.
Right, okay, so Yannis, you've done a fab job there at describing what all the products can do. The clay, as I said to Yanis earlier, was basically it's got less water content in some other clays that you may have used in the past. So you're actually getting slightly more clay than water actually for your money. So you're going to get 200 grams in the pack that comes in the show. Now, like all air dry clays, they can actually be used to colour. What I'm going to be using is a distress oxide. So I'm just going to take some out of the pack here just to show you how to colour it. The great thing is about this, you can colour with any sort of like dye, it can be an acrylic paint. In this case, I'm just going to use a distress oxide ink. So literally just put some onto your glass mat and then literally just mop that up using a little bit of that clay. And then before you know it, yeah, you're good to go. Okay, so just keep on mixing like so. Now, because I've actually added moisture into this piece of clay, okay, I'm just going to pop that aside. Normally I would wait about 5 minutes, okay? So just pop that aside just to dry a little bit more because you've added moisture. I've already mixed a larger amount a little bit earlier on. Now, what you're going to need is a rolling pin. I always say go for a nylon rolling pin because then none of the clay actually would like stick in the grooves if it was a wooden one. So what I have here are 2 bits of card, okay. Now these rolling pins normally do come with little spacers either end. Now I always find they fall off, so I've actually taken them off and I've replaced them with 2 pieces of cardboard. Now if you haven't got any cardboard, I'm sure you've got a cereal packet in your house, so just stick 2 of those together because they're about a millimetre thick, so pop 2 of those together. That's going to give you the ideal thickness, which is 2 mil. So I place that either side of my clay and just pop that down in the middle there, and this will give you the exact 2 mil clay. So just keep on rolling that until you've got no ridges actually in your clay. So just keep on going back and forth. Just lift it every so often just to make sure it doesn't stick to your glass mat. What I normally recommend is just put a little bit of dusting of corn flour actually on there. Okay, now the main pack is the easiest rose cutter. Now when I say easy, I do mean it is really easy. Now I have been a little bit green where it comes to making flowers before. I've always shied away from it because I've never had the confidence in actually making what I consider to be a really nice flower. After posting a couple of things on social media, I was literally blown away by the comments I got, but really it is this easy. Now you're going to get 3 different cutters, 3 different sizes. So I'm just going to show you what sort of size rose you're going to expect. This is the largest cutter, and this is the particular rose you're going to get with that one. You've then got the medium-sized cutter, which is this one here. I'll place all the roses side by side so you can see in a moment as well. And then you've got the smallest cutter of them all. Okay, so just pop those side by side, and you can see they just come up in size really, really beautifully. So they're going to work really, really nicely together. Now to make an actual rose is only going to literally take you about 5 minutes. So we've got our clay rolled out. So I'm just going to make sure that that hasn't stuck. And then I'm just going to place the cutter over there and then just firmly just press down all of the way around. Now you can go for 1 mil clay, and I tend to do that, 1 mil thickness of clay. I tend to do it on the smallest rose. But for the largest and the medium, this one is good enough. So just peel back and just going to roll that up. I'm just going to put that inside an airtight container so we can use that on a demonstration a little bit later on. And then we're just going to pick this one up. Okay, so just using some of the tools that are going to come to you in this particular pack. So with this pack, you're going to get the foam mat here, and you're going to get 5 different tools. The 2 I'm going to be using are the large ball tool here and this one with a slight blade and the pointy end. So they're the ones I'm going to be using. So when I actually use this mat, I always work sort of diagonally because that's going to give you the largest possible working area. So just place that on the mat, and then using your ball tool, you're wanting to roll out from like the center of this circle right the way out to the edge. Okay, so when you need to do it, just roll all the way and beyond. Now I'm not dragging the tool, I'm actually rolling it. Okay, so just keep on going all the way, and you can see now you're starting to shape the petals. After every one, if you worry that it's going to stick, just lift it up, okay? And then just keep on going all the way around. Now if you want a little bit more detail, maybe you want to use the smaller ball tool just to give you a little bit more texture. Entirely up to you. Now to make a rose, you can just use one of these, but I tend to go for a 2 or 3. So I'm going to go for 3 of these, so you're going to be making 3 of this particular shape, okay, and then we're going to place them all together and I'll show you how that works. So just go all the way round and then just turn it, and again just push out from the center and then just go all the way, making sure that the ball tool actually goes beyond the clay, so it's really thinning out that clay, and it's going to give the realism of a rose. And like I say, when I first started to use this, I was sort of like a little bit scared. I thought, you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to achieve a really nice rose. But before you know it, it's like riding a bike. Yes, you're going to have probably a couple of little mistakes, but believe me, it really is nice and easy to get the hang of this. And before you know it, you will be making loads of roses, and they can be in any colour. They don't have to be botanically correct. And I think that's the most important thing where it comes to craft. So you can do whatever colour you want. Now, once we've got to this here, you can see it's almost starting to look like an actual rose. So what I'm going to do, just going to flip this over, and then you want to fold this piece of clay in half. So just go to about there and then just press on this area here where you've folded it. So make sure you don't apply any pressure to where the petals are, but just to this part just here. Then using this tool here, I'm just going to lift this one up, this end, and then I'm just going to start to roll. So just place this tool just in there and then start to roll that. Once you've got about 1 rotation, so which is basically that, then just lift that up, okay, and then place that onto your mat, and then just start to curl that around, okay. So just keep on going, just apply a little bit of pressure, but only to the base, not to the top part, because you don't want those petals to actually stick together. So when you've done 1 rotation, that could be your rose, and you can see all of a sudden you are actually getting that really beautiful look already. Obviously we haven't fanned the petals out, but we're going to do that a little bit later. So I'm just going to place that one aside. I have already made some other elements this morning just before we come onto air, just to make the whole process a little bit quicker to explain. So again, we're just going to fold this one in half, okay, like so, and then we're going to actually add it. So again, just press down where you fold it, not on the petals, and then we're just going to take the one we've just curled up, and then this is the important part. It's actually where to join them together. So you can see just here, you've got the 2 petals. You can just about see those just there. Okay, so you've got the 1 petal there and another. So just basically line them up. So this petal down here, okay, will actually join this one just there. So just place that over there like so, and then pop back down your mat, and again, just gently just twist that around. And again, just taking a look at the top there, you can see that rose is now really taking shape. So I'm just going to grab the 3rd one, and then we're going to do exactly the same. Then we're actually going to start to create that rose. Okay, so let's just take this one out, and again, just flip that over. Let me just go that way, flip that one over like so, and again, where the fold is there, just make sure that you press that clay down nice and firmly, and then just bring this back in. Like I say, if you wanted, you could leave this one as is, but we're going to make a real statement piece. So again, just make sure you join them just at the right place. So it's this petal here, which is underneath, just goes to this one here, and it gives that nice little overlap, and then just start to twist like so. Now, when you get to that stage, the rose is going to look like that at the bottom, so it's going to look nothing like a rose at all. So to actually start shaping that rose, all you need to do is just to start manipulating it. Now, don't press, like I say, this is really important, don't press on the top part, so only go along the bottom and just start very, very slowly. And I'm just turning that rose around and I'm just gently, gently squeezing, okay, and then just keep on going around. If you squeeze too much too soon, then the centre part will just pop out, okay. So just keep on going round, and then all of a sudden you start to get like, it's like the neck of a glass, okay. So if I pop that way, then you can actually see, just by going around there, that is the shape we're wanting to achieve, okay. And then once you're starting to get into there, okay, you can see there you've got this sort of like neck here, and that's what you're actually going to be wanting. Once you get to about that stage, then just pop it between your fingers and then just start to roll like so. And then before you know it, okay, you can apply a little bit more pressure now. Before you know it, you're going to have a beautiful rose starting to form. So once it gets like that, just twist that off. You can always sand this down once it's done. Now you will notice you've got all of this clay actually left over, so that can just be mushed back up and popped inside your airtight bag, and that can be used obviously for another rose. Right, so you have your actual rose, and it's really, really now taking shape. So what I tend to do, I get one of these, and it's just a little washi tape roller or anything this size, and I just can place the rose actually in there when I've actually finished manipulating it. So to actually manipulate, it's entirely up to you here, so you can now start to really pose that and just start to look at the shape of it. So if the centre isn't quite in the centre and you want it in the centre, pop this tool into there and just drag it just very, very gently over to there. Now you can start by just very, very gently just starting to manipulate all of those petals, and you'll see what I'm doing. I'm putting this tool in there, and then I'm just gently just pulling out all those petals, okay, and then before you know it, you're going to start to see that rose forming. Now obviously with the outer ones, you can really, really, really pull those back like that and have a nice little curl to them, and then when you start to come into the centre, the actual petals are going to be tighter together. So this is probably going to take just a couple of minutes, just until you're happy with what you're doing. So like I say, just keep on going in there. Now something like this is going to take, I would say, probably about 24 hours to dry inside, but yesterday when it was really, really nice, I just put the yellow roses, the 3 different sizes, out to dry, and they would dry within about 2 hours in the sun. So it just does depend. Don't force dry them using a heat gun, not always a good idea. And there we go. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry in there, and that is one of our roses. So you can see all of the beautiful petals really, really do come in to their own. Once that's actually dry, what you can actually do using the same colour, so in this case it was pickled raspberry. Let me just grab another rose I've previously made. I'm just trying to see if I've got a pink one. I probably haven't actually. I'll tell you what, we'll go for a completely different colour rose. And what I'm going to do, this one is completely dry, okay. Now at this point, if you're into your card making, this is really important. You can actually just cut that in half. So let me just bring in a card that I have actually made, which is this one just here. And what I've actually done to some of these roses, I have actually cut them in half. So you see, if I tip it that way, half of the rose is on here, and then I've popped the other half there. So you're actually getting 2 roses, but you're only actually making 1. So that's a way that you can actually pop it onto cards, and you know, the dimension of it then isn't as extreme as if you were just to stick a rose on like so. Now if you want to make them freestanding as such, like I have this one here, then all you need to do is possibly add the Calyx, which is the little green bud at the bottom there, and then you can just wire this using florist wire and florist tape, and then again just leave that one to dry overnight and you're going to be good to go. So when it's at the wet stage, that's when you can actually put a florist wire actually into it. So let's see if I have a florist wire somewhere. I did earlier, maybe it has gone. Maybe I'll show you that one later, but basically you just put the florist wire into the bottom of here and make sure it then comes all the way through, then just put a little hook in it and then just pull that back down. But I'll show that as soon as I find myself one of those. So just pop that aside and let's just get back to the colouring technique. So I'm just going to use this one. I'm just going to brush a little bit of the colour actually onto there, and then just very, very lightly, there we go, just touch onto the side of the petals. Obviously you don't want to go all the way in, and it's just going to add a little bit more detail, a little bit more realism. But like I say, where it comes to crafting, you know, you don't have to be botanically correct. You can make the roses to suit your particular project. So you can see just by adding a little bit of colour there, it just really, really does make the dimension of that stand out that little bit more. Okay. So once you've got all your roses dry, then you can actually start to create a project. So I'm just going to grab this one here, and this is one that's in the process of being made. Now you will notice that on the top of this particular box we have got some casts, and these have been made by the Prima Molds that are also on the show. Now these are, dare I say, these are an absolutely fantastic price for a Prima Mold. Okay, so how do we use this, the Prima Molds? Really, really nice and easy. We're going to be using the soft then strong clay. Now as we were saying earlier, and as Yannis said, when it's actually set, which these ones have, okay, and this is a really large piece, you can still flex them. Okay, so that's really, really good. So if you want to pop that maybe around a bottle, then it's quite easy to actually do that. Just stick a glue on the back there, pop that onto your bottle, and then using some cling film, just hold that in place. But that is how the soft and strong works. Really, really beautiful product. It's an air dry polymer clay. It's going to take possibly 48 hours to dry, I'll be honest with you. Now the reason I say that, let me just pop that aside just for the moment, and let's just bring in one of those moulds. Okay, so this is one of the moulds that we're going to be working with. I'm just looking for the clay, which I popped down here earlier. Now this clay is a little bit different to the light and bright, okay, in the fact that it's actually going to come in a foil wrapper, then it's going to come in this cling film. Now unlike the other clay, this is, and as you can see, this is really, really sticky. Okay, now you can let this air dry a little bit, probably about 20 to even 30 minutes before you can then actually pop that into your mould. But I'll be honest with you, what I tend to do is, I know that there's lots of detail in that mould. I actually just pop the clay in straight away, okay, like so. And then I'm just going to leave this one to dry, like I say, possibly overnight, possibly 2 days, because I know that I want it for a project. And to be quite honest with you, because of the clay and how it is and how flexible it is, you know, you could be just making these, maybe even when you haven't got a project in mind, but you know that you'll be able to manipulate this, you'll be able to put it around a bottle or a jar or something, or a vase. So we're just going to pop that into there. Now the really great thing I love about this soft and strong clay is that normally I would get my Dresden tool and I would go all the way around the edge there, and I would make it really, really neat before I could then actually take the cast out. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a plastic palette knife, okay, so just make sure that clay is pushed all the way in like so, and then we're just going to get a palette knife, and this is a real time saver, and then just go all the way around, just keep on turning the mould as you go. Obviously you don't really want to be using a metal palette knife, just in case you do actually cut into the surface of the mould, so you don't want to do that. So just go all the way around, okay, and let's just pop that all there, and then just take that off, and you can see that has cleaned up the majority of that. So maybe there's just a little couple of pieces there like so. When you're happy, just pop your clay that's left over back inside the cling film, all the way back like so, and tuck that in like that. Like I say, that is going to take between 24, 48 hours, but like I say, to get the maximum detail, then just leave it and then come back to that in a couple of days. When you do, then it's entirely up to you. You can colour it with whatever mediums you have, so things like acrylic paints are going to work, metallic paints. Obviously you don't have to worry too much about the back, painting that, but you can make it then look really, really metallic by just adding a couple of your colours of your gilding wax. That's going to work really, really well. So just pop that aside, like so, and then let's bring our box back in. Okay, so this is the box that we have already made. You can see lots of little decorations going on the top there. So we've also got the little flourishes that are also in this particular mould. And then we're just going to glue that one in place. We're just going to use some glue gel, some 3D glue gel. So again, just go round with that. And then I'm just going to pop that back in place. And then did you want a quick recap, Yanis, on some of the products, or did you want me to carry on?
No, it's fine. I tell you what we do. We will have a quick recap, Anthony, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And then continue, because I'm enjoying this. It's funny because I was going to interrupt when you were doing that to ask if we could see the moulds, and you read my mind because you went straight to it.
All right.
So, yeah. No, so that's why the viewers at home might have heard me go, oh, I was listening. Anthony, watching you make the flower is incredible.
And it is, and as I
So
said,
achievable.
I keep on saying to people on social media, it really is that easy. It is a bit like riding a bike, possibly a couple of times you might go wrong, but it's clay. Just mash it back up, have another go. And seriously, you will be creating the most amazing, professional looking roses in no time at all. And
that's it. Anthony genuinely means that. Anyone's going to be doing it. By the way, Anthony, I was stretching. If you saw me doing that, I wasn't, I was just stretching. Well, Anthony was like thinking, why is he doing this for? Okay, so just going to have a quick recap down the counter, and then we'll promise we'll get back to Anthony, because that's what I think everyone wants to continue that demonstration. We've got these moulds. Genuinely, the way anybody, whether you're just starting crafting, this could be your first time making the flowers, or you're an experienced crafter, the name is on the packaging. The fact is, these will be the easiest roses you ever make. So you've got the smaller and the original easy rose ever. Sorry, the easiest rose, yeah, the easiest rose ever. $15.99 your price. This is an occasion where you're looking at the cutters, and if you have just tuned in, you're like, really? But when you see the flowers, and Auntie, do you mind if I just jump back to you for a second? Could you just lift up the flower that you made? And please follow Anthony on social media, because I just say everything for it. We're going to have a look at that. And while we're looking at that, tell us, how do we follow you on social media, Anthony, if we do want to follow you?
It's just my personal Facebook page. So that's Antony, A-N-T-O-N-Y.
Yeah.
And James Minnis. There are two of us because my nephew's actually named after me, but just look for my face and I'm sitting on one of the Hochanda thrones.
Oh, nice. Okay. And are you okay if we follow you? Is that all right?
Yeah, no worries at all.
Oh, fantastic. So there's a flower. And I just wanted to show, I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. You could be making roses like that, and I really mean that, whether it's sugarcraft or with your clay, and we have got the great clay on the show as well. $15.99 your price. I know you already know this, but please don't cross-contaminate. So if you're using it for your sugarcraft, the cutters, keep them for your sugarcraft and get a separate set for your crafting, for your clay, or vice versa. Okay, so now we're going to continue. We've got the peony. So again, sticking in the vein of making the easiest peony ever, and this is where FMM are so good, because they bring you cutters that anyone can use, and you get such beautiful results for $11.99. If you look at the quality of the flowers, now have a good look at these. You're going to be making these for an investment of $11.99, and I know that sounds very silly-telly, but genuinely, for $11.99, having the tools to make it consistently, and that is the thing, because I know my mum is a very talented lady, and she makes beautiful cakes, and she can actually make roses and peonies by hand without using cutters. But the thing is, it took years, and I mean years and years and years to learn to do it, and not everyone turns out the same. Here you're getting the consistency and the quickness too, because using the cutters, you're doing it in what, 5 minutes, Antony was saying? If you're doing it by hand, it takes a lot longer. I've seen it. $11.99 your price, 561413 your item number. Right, we're going to move on. We have got more for you. Now, Antony was showing you if you do want to take the flowers a step further, thinking of the roses, if you want to add the leaves to your flowers and also your Calyx as well, Calyx I should say. So what that does, it gives you that realism as the finishing touches. $9.99 your price. I'm just going to show you here, we've got the different size cutters. So let me just show you 3. There we go. So those are the leaves. Different size cutter leaves, and then pop those down. And then we've also got the Calyx as well with that graduation. So it doesn't matter what size you're making, you've got yourself covered. $9.99 your price, and you are getting all 6 of the cutters. 580333 your item number. Antony, I'm so sorry, I know I keep jumping to you. Could you just show us, you know, where you use the Calyx, you put it on the stem. Could we see the flower with that? Okay?
Yes, I've actually, that's what I'm going to show in my next demonstration as well.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, so we can actually see that in place. I've got one here ready just to show you how that works.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
So we will see that in next demonstration, so do stay tuned. Thank you, Antony, I appreciate that. Okay, now the tools that you saw Antony using, you know, this is important because you might have some flower shaping tools, ball tools in your arsenal, but here these take it a step further. So what you're getting is a set of 5 tools, but you're actually getting 10 in total because they are double-ended, and these are your specialized tools. I've never seen, so okay, I've seen ball tools before, flower shaping tools, which you see here. You might have one of these at home. Do you have anything like that at home? Or anything like this? Or here, that pointer that we used to roll. Antony was using these to great effect. So these are the tools that you use to shape, model and mould all your beautiful flowers. And within this set, you've pretty much got everything you need. And Antony will be demonstrating these this hour. So there we go. You're getting all 5 of those. I keep saying 5. They're 10 tools in total, or 10 ends. There you go. And you're also getting the foam as well. And there's a hole in the foam, and I would imagine that serves a purpose. So maybe Antony might be, yes, Antony's nodding. I'm going to stay quiet. You're going to have to stay tuned for the next demonstration. It'll literally a couple of minutes, and then Antony will show you. Now, we have got the impression mats for you. 2 different options. You've got your brickwork and your bark. That's your first option. Or you've got your cobblestone and your, oh, it's actually cobbles and stones. I merged them both. So cobbles and stones here. Brickwork and bark. I love them both. $9.99 for 2 impression mats. Bark and brick, most popular at the moment. Saying that, now I have seen demonstrations thinking of the cobbles and the stones. So if you have got some MDF, if you wanted to create that beautiful cobbled effect around, say, a mushroom house or something like that, the cobblestones I think is well worth your consideration too. $9.99 your price, 087018 your item number. The molds. Now, as a presenter, I've got like, I keep my ear out, my antenna out. When I hear a guest say something, in my head it's like, alarm. So Antony said the price on the molds, $15.99. It is a very good price considering the quality of the molds that you are getting. Can I just, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to reveal. Now this happens to be the most popular. Sorry, I've got to apologise to our director, Chris. So now that's the most popular option at the moment. This is your Warrington framework. Beautiful. I mean, look at these wonderful flourishes, corners. Okay, so that's one Antony was using. I have to admit, the one that I really like, I like them both. I'm going to show you all. This one's beautiful. Look at the depth of the molds. The quality, these are a food grade mold. They are incredibly good. I really mean that. Okay, so this one's, let me have a look. Oh, it's a Hollybrook. Okay, there we go. Now my favourite, look at this one, the Bridgeport. Antony, I think, had the Bridgeport. Could we just see that again, Antony? Sorry.
Main elements from each of the moulds. So
okay.
This is the one from the first mould that you actually showed.
Yeah, that's a Warrington.
Sorry, that one there.
Uh-huh.
You've then got this one. I love this. That is just
nice.
so delicate, so beautiful, but using
That's a Hollybrook.
that soft and strong clay, that is really, really good.
Nice.
And then you've got that one, which is a
look
very large piece yet again. A beautiful, beautiful mould. Lots of exquisite detail in there.
Where would you
It can
put
be
that,
bought out.
Anthony? Where would you put something like that on a project?
Let me just grab it. Here we go.
Oh, nice.
There we go. So that is actually on the top,
Ooh.
just there, and you can see that fits in really, really beautifully. And just a couple of little smaller ones from one of the other moulds
Stunning.
as well.
Thank you, Anthony. So $15.99, you choose whichever option tickles your fancy, but they are all stunning. I really do mean that. Now we're going to need the right mould, the right clay rather, for your moulds, and we have got two options for you. We've got your bright and light, and then we've got our soft and strong. Is there a time when we should be using our bright and light, Anthony? A time when you'll be using your soft and strong?
Yeah, so the bright and light is definitely one for the flowers. But in saying that, okay, and this is the difference. Okay, so I have, this is the one that we actually coloured earlier. This was actually made from the light and bright.
Yeah.
And if I just tap that on the glass, okay. Now this is the soft then strong. So this is the polymer air dry clay. Yes, you can still make beautiful roses, but that's the difference. This can be used for jewellery. It is waterproof, so you could actually like decorate something that's going to go outside with this. So that is really the difference between the two.
So soft and strong, we can go outside with it.
Indeed.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. $10.99 your price. We'll start with our bright and light. So you're getting 200 grams of your bright and light. It's got less water content, so you are getting more clay for your money as well. 602-254 your item number. We also have the soft and strong. The real key to the soft and strong is the fact that once you have moulded it, once it's dried, and they are both air dry polymer clay, but once it has dried, you can still mould it. It's still got that flexibility. We did have a question actually from Jean. Hello, Jean. Just asking about putting items outside. So as Anthony just said, if you are going to be putting something outside, it's better to go for your soft and strong. $10.98 your price there. 623-804 your item number. Very quickly, I'm just going to share with you our 7-day savers, and then we'll head back to Anthony. So 7-day savers launch every Sunday at 8 a.m. They're around for 7 days, as the name suggests. We have some scissors for you, Fiskar scissors. They're universal scissors. So Fiskar, it's a small little it was a small little town in Iceland. That's where the company came about, and that's where the name came about. But really good knowledge, and we checked it yesterday. But look, really good quality scissors. I mean, they've been around for years and years and years. $11.99 your price there, 766-547 your item number. We've also got grey board for you. Okay, so grey board, if you're looking to make some home decor with your moulds, your clays, your cutters on the show today, this is a great starting point. It's a blank canvas, $9.99 your price there, 227-501 your item number. We've got one more thing to show you. This is stamping card. So smooth and white stamping card, great saving on there. $12.99 your price, 580149 your item number. 125 sheets in total, 250 GSM. I'm going to hand you back to Anthony.
Okay, so just continuing on from the demonstration earlier and throwing in something else before we get back to that. So I found now a piece of florist wire that I'm actually going to show you how to then wire up the roses, so you're going to be able to achieve this type of a look. Okay, so as I was saying, you need the calyx that is at the bottom there, and that's where this hole actually comes into play. So Yanis was sort of saying, what is this hole for? It's obviously got a purpose. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's to hang it up. But it's actually not. So I've already coloured some clay, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of this actually just over the hole. Okay, and I'm just going to press that in. Okay, you'll notice then on the back here, the clay's actually starting to come through. So it's going to start to help you actually shape that calyx. So I'm just going to use my rolling pin just on the top. Okay, like so. I'm just going to go all the way out, and then just going to flip that over. I'm just going to use one of the small ball tools just to pop that out, and you can see then it gives you this little shape. Okay, so then you can start to manipulate it a little bit more, maybe just give it a little bit more shape, like so. Okay, then when you're happy with that, just place that onto your mat. And again, like the roses, the calyxes actually come in 3 different size cutters. So just place that over there, obviously depending on what size rose you've made, just pop that on there and then just press down and then just give it a little bit of a wiggle like so. Just pull that out, take off the excess clay, and then let's just see if I can drag this up. Probably need to put a little bit more corn flour. There we go. And that is your calyx. Now once you've actually got to that point, just using your fingers, a little bit of water if you've got some. I've just got some over here. Let me just drag that in. And I'm just going to just pull those out and just like extend them a little bit. Okay. Now it's entirely up to you. You can stick this on the bottom of your rose when it is wet. The only problem I find is that if you do that, you've got a tendency to actually squash the rose. So what I tend to do is just lift up the ends of that just very, very slightly, and then I'm just going to pop that somewhere to dry, and that's going to be dry within a couple of hours. Okay, so that's how quick and easy it is to make those. The leaf is exactly the same, so I'm just going to bring in my 2 pieces of cardboard yet again, just to roll this out so it's nice and thin. So like I say, 2mm bits of card there, and this is just to support the rolling pin. Just lift that up, and again we're just going to place that in like so. Just give that a little cut, just bring that out, and then place that on your mat. And then using some of the other tools that we've got on the show, you can just add a little bit of detail in there. So maybe just the center point like so, and then just a couple of little pieces just coming from the center. So it's entirely up to you, or if you have actually got one of a veining mat or something like that, you can be using that as well. So that is the rose there, rose leaf. So once you've got to this stage, that's when you actually want to wire up the actual leaf. So basically, when the clay is still wet, just pop that inside there, and then just very, very carefully, you can feel that actually going up the leaf. Just keep on going, and when it's just about at the top there, just make sure the actual wire itself doesn't show through, which it doesn't. Okay, and that is then good to go, so then just leave that to dry. So coming to the other end of this wire, I've actually got the calyx already stuck onto the bottom of this rose. So what you need to do is basically just pop that through, and the rose and the calyx is dry, and then just pop it all the way through, okay, until it comes out to the other end of the rose. So we can just see that just there. And then I'm just going to just curl that round just a little bit. If you've got some pliers, even better. Okay, so just make a little hook in it like so, and then what I tend to do is just pull that just back inside, okay, making sure that it's not damaging any of the petals that are actually in there, and then just pull that down so it's out of sight. And that is how my particular way of actually wiring up a rose. Then with the leaves, then you can add those. Normally they branch off, and then you've got like 3, but do you know what I did? I just looked online, just searched what a rose looks like, and then you're going to get the realism a little bit more. So that's how to actually wire the rose. And what I've actually done with this one, this is a completely non-botanically correct colour. So this is like a purple and a really sort of like dark blue. Right, so that's how you do that. Getting back to our project that we did earlier. So we've got our rose leaves, and they're all cut. And then I've actually just coloured these. Now, the tip, what I normally do is once you've actually got your leaf, okay, then just use some white acrylic paint just in the centre, and then just brush down. And then I just put a little bit of varnish, because if you actually look at rose leaves in nature, they have just got that nice shine to them. So let me just pop those there. I've got 3 large white roses that we've got there.
Just to let you know, Anthony, you've got 6 minutes.
6 minutes, right, that's what I'm trying to, sorry. Yeah, that's fine, yeah, we're going to get that. I'm dreadful at listening to people whisper. Right, so when the roses are actually dry, okay, this is the great bit, because if you were to stick those down, it's going to have very little to actually stick to. So just use a large knife, okay, and then just cut the very ends, and this is the bottom half, okay, of the clay, like so, and then you've got maximum sticking surface, okay. So rather than being rolling around like that, they're now really nice and firm. So you can cut them at angles as well. So just have a think about what sort of project you're going to be doing, which way you want the flowers to face. So now that one's pointing in that direction. So again, let me just pop those aside. Just go here for a trim, like so. Okay, and now let's just pop those aside. We're going to bring in our top part to the box. Then we're just going to start to glue everything together really quickly. So we're going to go for one rose here. So like I say, with those large flat surfaces, it just does make it a lot easier to position your roses, so you know that they're not going to fall off. Okay, so there's one. We're just going to pop that one down there. So just like so, and then just make sure we've got room for that one. That one just tucks nicely inside there. Let's just stick that in place, like so, and then just a couple of those green leaves there, just to add a little bit of colour, and again, it's just that little bit of realism to your project, and just tuck those underneath the petals, like so. And then we're going to go for 3 on this side, and I think we're then going to be done. So just pop that one on there, and then I think just one just there. And again, just leave that glue to dry, and then your project is done. Now the reason I've actually used the soft then strong on the top, and this is another really great use for it. If you're going to be upcycling furniture, and I know that Catherine does a lot of that, so follow her on her social media, her special page she's got there. But unlike the other clay, which is the bright and light, if you were to then rub that, it's like if it's on a drawer front, it will actually come off in time. This one, because it is a really strong polymer clay, you can keep on rubbing into that, nothing's going to happen. So it's really robust, and that's the difference between the two. That one's going to last a long time. Like I said, this one is more for decoration. Okay.
No, the soft and strong proving very popular. So just to let you know, the soft and strong proving very popular. Half the stock has gone there. Cool. The demos were incredible. Thank you so much, Antony.
Pleasure, thank you.
Absolutely amazing. So we've got another show later on?
Indeed, and we're going to be going for the Peony on that one.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
I think with myself as well.
Indeed.
Winning at life, love it. Look, what I would say, the effects you're able to achieve, and we saw that in that beautiful box that Antony's just made. The flowers, the rose flowers are incredible. Can we just have a very quick look at those flowers? I'll tell you why. And this is, if you see them there, they look incredible. But what I do want to point out, and I'm just conscious of the fact, I know a lot of viewers might have just tuned in, you might have had a lie-in, so you might have missed the first half of the show. Antony demonstrated that anybody can make it. It's called the easiest ever rose. You've got the small, or the easiest rose ever rather. What you're able to do with the cutters, and it is so simple. You cut out, you fold over, you just taper the petals and roll up. It's that simple. And what I would suggest is, this is one show. If you are going to invest in anything, please recap. Go onto our website, use the Hochanda app, and revisit the show. It's worth watching the demonstrations, but they are incredibly easy to do. The effects are phenomenal. And that is the real key with this. Anybody can make the most beautiful, realistic roses. We're 20% of the stock gone here. If you haven't got anything like this currently in your stash, if you love your mixed media, if you want to just have a go with clay or sugarcraft, and we talk about clay, I know a lot of people making their own cakes. Imagine you could make a very simple cake, but adding a beautiful rose or a flurry of roses on top totally transforms it. Actually, my wedding cake, I remember our wedding cake, we had roses sort of cascading down the side of it, but we paid a fortune for that. Listen, you don't have to, because you can make them yourselves. $15.99 your price if you want to get hold of these. We've also got the Peony as well. We've got lots on the show. It's well worth revisiting. Antony will return at 11 o'clock. I really hope you can join us. What are we going to be doing at 11, Antony?
It's going to be the Peony we're going to be concentrating on, so I'll show you how easy that one is as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Antony. I really did enjoy this hour, and I hope you enjoyed the hour as well. Please make sure to check out your baskets, and I only say that because I know how busy we are. With the soft and strong, we're over 50% of the stock, so it'll be interesting to see how much stock we have left at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much for getting up this morning and spending the hour with us. Got another fantastic hour with the lovely Hayley coming up.